I wanted to share a vision I had today. Today being January the 16th, 2021. I had been asked by Brother Emmanuel to keep things in prayer and see if the Lord had anything to share through me concerning this time. And after some time of prayer, I did receive a vision from the Lord. And interestingly, some time into seeing this vision, I actually received a text. And the text was actually someone sharing on our group chat on the phone that it was 11:11. So that was a sort of a confirmation. But anyways, in this vision, I saw what was like a bright source of light. I didn't really see my surroundings very well at first, but from this, or in front of this bright source of light, was like the silhouette of, I think, a man. I couldn't see any features of the man at all, but out of this source of light came what first appeared to be a white dove. Just flew out of this source of light and then perched itself upon the silhouette of this man on his shoulder. And then when I got a closer look at this bird, this white bird, it actually had the body of a dove, but the head of this bird was like that of a chicken or a rooster. So I then realized that this was not actually a dove, but it was still all white, but the head of this bird was like that of a rooster. And so it was kind of deceiving. And at this point, interestingly, I saw that this bird, right after it perched on the silhouette's shoulder, this bird was beheaded. I don't know by what or by whom, but the head of this bird was cut off. And then from that point, I kind of got the vision zoomed out to where I got a larger picture of the surroundings. And I saw that from this source of light, flocks of this same kind of bird began to pour out of it. And so from a distance, interestingly, it looked like a very divine thing, because you see these flocks of white birds coming out of this heavenly looking source of light. But if you were to zoom far closer into the flock of these birds, you notice that they're somewhat strange looking animals, strange looking birds, because they all had the head of a rooster and the body of a dove. And at this point, I saw that as they began to spread out, they were actually next to what seemed like a tumultuous ocean or sea. And so I was facing this. The sea is in front of me. To my right on the shore is that source of light where those birds are pouring forth. And on the left side of the sea, hovering over the sea, is a great dark storm. So like a very great mass of black and gray cloud. And it's from this that I see a very large hand protrude and almost pick up the surface of the sea as if it was like a blanket, and then just tossed it over this light source where where those birds were coming out of. And that proceeded to completely wipe out those birds and that light source, even as it happened, and as the birds were being drowned by this huge wave that was tossed up like a blanket by this hand. I even heard the light source kind of sputter and then kind of almost explode, like it was some electrical device that had been thrown in the water. So that completely destroyed everything that I saw in that first part of the vision. And then directly after this, I saw this dark cloud begin to open in the middle, revealing light that was inside it. So it seemed like a initially very not particularly evil, but just something very dangerous and scary, I guess. This dark cloud on the left side of this ocean, it began to open up in the middle, and there was light coming out of it, a far brighter, whiter light than the light I had seen before. And from this came forth white birds as well, but these were actual doves. They had the body of a dove and the head of a dove. And many began to come forth from there. And interestingly, while they didn't have weapons, obviously it's kind of hard to imagine birds with weapons, but they seemed to be like some sort of conquering army almost, these doves that were coming out. And along with these doves, I also saw eagles as well, of course being larger. And I didn't see as many eagles. There were far more doves than there were eagles, but they seemed almost to be in the position of like a sort of captain, like captains or leaders of these doves. These eagles did. And then of course I also saw a white lamb come out from the same source of light with this army. And then along with this white lamb was a lion as well. And the lamb was standing next to the lion as the lion roared to continue to call forth this army of doves and eagles. And then the last thing I saw in this vision was, I think, something that was supposed to, I guess, serve as a more specific part of the vision for, I think, Emmanuel. I saw a group, I think, of about 3 or 4 eagles flying far above this storm where the army was coming out. And I believe that one of the eagles, specifically the one that was flying in front, was supposed to signify Emmanuel. So again, these 3 or 4 eagles were flying far above, not separated from particularly, but almost overwatching, and just making sure everything, I guess, seemed to go in, to make, like, scouts, I guess you could say. So overwatching everything that went on below. And that was the end of that vision. So I'll certainly continue to keep things in prayer.